Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we are diving into a thought-provoking and visually captivating 2011 movie Melancholia. Melancholia is a visually stunning and emotionally intense film directed by Lars von Trier. You know Lars von Trier? Google him. The dude is awesome. The movie is about a lot of heavy stuff like depression, the end of the world, and family drama. The story is set against the backdrop of a planet disaster where the planet Melancholia is on a collision course with Earth, and honestly, that collision is a metaphor for some pretty heavy emotional and existential crisis. The story is divided into two parts, each named after the two main characters, Justine and Claire, who are sisters. Part 1. Justine's wedding, but it's not really a celebration. The movie kicks off with this weird dreamlike scene where we see Justine, played by Kirsten Dunst, walking through a strange, dying world with the planet Melancholia looming in the sky. Right from the start, we get the sense that something's about to go terribly wrong. The first half of the film takes place during Justine's wedding day, which should be this big, happy occasion, but hell, Justine's not having it. She and her new husband, Michael, played by Alexander Skarsgård, show up at her sister Claire's fancy mansion for the reception. But despite all the glitz and glamour, Justine is fighting off some serious feelings of emptiness and sadness. And it doesn't take long for her to go off the rails. She's acting out like big time, and people are seriously uncomfortable around her. But Justine can't mask what's going on inside, and frankly, she doesn't even try. As the night goes on, Justine's behavior gets more and more out of control. Her family, especially her mother, is super critical of her, which just makes things worse. Justine talks to Claire, saying she's always felt like an outsider, like she just can't connect to the happiness everyone else has, no matter how much Claire tries to help. Instead of having a happy wedding, Justine is falling apart. And on top of all that, everyone's freaking out because the giant planet, Melancholia, heading straight for Earth, a sign that things are about to get a lot worse. Part 2. Claire's struggle with melancholia. In the second part, we shift to Claire, who's now the main focus. After the wedding chaos, Justine is staying at Claire's house, and she's still sinking deeper into her depression. Meanwhile, Claire is absolutely freaking out about melancholia. She's convinced that the planet is going to crash into Earth and destroy everything. She spends all her time preparing, trying to get ready for the end of the world. While Claire is spiraling into anxiety, Justine seems oddly calm. She's not worried about melancholia at all. In fact, she tells Claire that she's at peace with the idea of the planet crashing into Earth. It's like she's given up on trying to fix anything. She's accepted the end, and in a way, it almost feels like a relief for her. It's as if the end of the world matches what she's feeling inside. The ending. As melancholia gets closer and closer, the sisters' differences couldn't be starker. Claire's fear keeps building, while Justine remains weirdly calm. Finally, the moment of truth comes. They wait together, along with Claire's husband John and their son, for the inevitable collision. And yeah, the planet crashes into Earth, destroying everything. The world literally ends in a massive explosion. It's intense. But what's powerful is the final scene. So, what the heck was this movie about? Now, here's the thing. Melancholia isn't just about a planet destroying the Earth. The movie uses that disaster to show us the inner struggles of the characters. Justine's depression is the real melancholia here. It's this feeling of being stuck in darkness, unable to escape, and just waiting for everything to fall apart. The planet colliding with Earth is a visual way of showing how overwhelming and inevitable her depression feels. On the other hand, Claire represents fear and anxiety about the unknown. She can't control the world around her, and as melancholia gets closer, she tries to prepare for the worst, but she can't stop the inevitable. Justine, however, has already accepted it. She knows the world is falling apart, and so is she, but at least she's not fighting it anymore. Now comes the main question. What's the big message here? Melancholia is about facing our darkest emotions and how we deal with them. Justine's depression is like a personal apocalypse. She's been living with this crushing weight inside her, and when the world ends, it feels like everything aligns. Claire, on the other hand, represents how people often try to control their fear and anxiety, even when it's something as uncontrollable as the end of the world. The film shows us that sometimes things are out of our hands. You can't control everything. Not the planet's path, not your feelings, not your relationships. But in the end, it's about how you face that. Justine has accepted it, and Claire is still struggling. The sisters' relationship, despite all their issues, is one of the few things that survives the emotional and literal crash. Here's a question for you. After watching Melancholia, do you think End of the World was a metaphor for depression, or is it a literal event? Comment your theory below, and if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and subscribe for more movie breakdowns.